Hey guys and girls, welcome back to BBR Suspension. Today we are going to continue with the TZR 250 rear shock rebuild. What I've done, I've scrounged around at the press and I've managed to find some shrapnel which used to be the seal head dust cover. So what we're going to do, I've stripped the preload adjuster rings off the shock body just to make it a little bit smaller and easier to handle. And I've managed to get a nice billet of 50mm aluminium solid round bar. So what we're going to do, we'll machine up a new dust cap today. We should get that done pretty quickly. And then I've done a little bit of hunting and searching for measurements. And it looks like we should be able to modify a seal head from an old IT200. I think it's a 1980 and 81 model IT200. Those same seal heads were used on the early YZ80s, or if you're in the States, YZ80, also around about a 1981-82 model. So the seal head body diameter is exactly the same, it's 40 millimeters, and it also used a 12.5 millimeter shaft. So I've ordered one of those from the US, as unfortunately nobody has got in South Africa. That should be here in the next couple of days. But for now, we'll get the dust seal cap, or the dust cap machined, and then as soon as the seal head arrives, we can start taking a couple of measurements. It might require a little bit of modification, but like I said in the previous video, these TZR shocks were made or manufactured by Yamaha to not be opened. They're a complete sealed unit, so we've managed to get it open, and if the seal head needs a few little mods to make it work, we should be able to do that. And then going forward, we'll have a fully serviceable shock. So let's get machining and let's get that dust cap made. Right guys, let's get this faced off quickly. Put a center bit. So we need a 13.5 millimeter hole. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a 11.5 mil bit through. Once we got that hole, we will be able to bore it to the final size, a small boring bar. Let's drop the speed. Let's get some coolant on. secret with drilling aluminium You want to break that chip quite regularly. It makes long stringy chips, which can be a pain to deal with. Just going to wipe off the excess coolant so we don't get a bath. Nothing worse than a coolant bath. So what we're going to do, we're going to touch off, take a light cut, then we'll take a measurement. Right, so we're going to take a half a millimeter cut. We'll then take a measurement, take it from there. We need a final size of 13.5 millimeters. Okay, so we are currently sitting at around 12.5. Let's recheck that. 12. Yeah, give or take 12.5. So we need to take another millimeter out. So I think what we'll do two cuts of half a mil. Give it a little bit of lube. We should be 13 mil now, 13 mil on the button, so one more half mil cut and we should be good to go. and we are 13.5 on the button. Okay, next we need to machine the outside down. This is 50mm billet aluminium. We're going to need to machine the outside down from 50mm to 46mm, or the outside diameter of the cap, and then we'll start working on the piece that goes into the shock body. Take a few measurements and we'll take it from there. So let's touch and zero our dials. Right, so again we're going to take a 1/2mm cut. Just want to see how far we're going to go in as a reference. We'll go right, so let's do a 1/2mm cut, just as a reference. Okay, so we're sitting around about 50.8. Stock is generally oversized. Aluminium has a tendency to make what I like to call, well, got the saying actually from Brendan at Inheritance Machining, Satan's spaghetti. No better description than that. So we were 50.8, we should be in the region currently of about 48.8, give or take. 48 looks like about 48.5 48.82. So we'll take another 2 mil off, and then, in fact, let's take 1.5 mil off, get to 0 on the dial, just makes it a little bit easier to get a reading. Right, let's get a reading now, and then we can get possibly 2 more cuts. Okay, so we look like we're at 47.3. So we're going to take off 1.3. So we'll do half a mil, and then we'll do 0.8. Well, actually, we can do 0.75 of a mil. Just makes the cuts more uniform. Right, we should be pretty much 46 flat now. Let's get a quick reading. We are, yeah, about 45.98, which is fine. It's not a critical dimension, so we'll be fine there. Right, now what we need to do, we need to have a look at the broken cap and the depth where it goes into the shock body. We need to check that depth, set a depth stop. So that specific depth is measuring at around 5.5 millimeters that it goes into the shock body. So we'll set up a depth stop around about 5.5. And that we need to machine down. So the inside diameter of the shock body is 40 millimeters on the button. And what we're going to do, we're going to make that a size for size. so we're going to set our 0 mark. So when we machine, we always come to the 0 mark. Let's just touch so we have a reference. Right. So we're going to touch off again, just 0 our dial. We'll take a millimeter cut. So we need to go from 46 down to 40, so it's 6 millimeters we need to take off in total. Well, let's just get four millimeters hogged off, and then we'll take a measurement. Right, so we've got 4 millimeters hogged off. We should be pretty close to 42 mils now. So let's get a reading. Let's just make sure vernier is zeroed correctly. And we're aiming for 40, just over. Okay, so we currently are sitting at 41.92, so let's get 1.5 mils taken off. We'll take off 1.5 and then we'll take a reading and take our last cut. Right, so we should need to take off around, give or take, 0.4. So we should be currently that's 40.48, so we need to get off 0.48, and we should then be on size. So we're going to take off 0.48, let's get a measurement. We should be on 40 or just over. we go 40, it's about 40.01. Perfect for a slight interference fit. What we'll do now, we'll quickly chamfer, and then we'll chamfer the sharp edges, and we'll check the shock body to see how it fits. So we put a small 45-degree chamfer on there just to guide it into the shock body. We'll clean up the top. So that swarf should come off. What we'll do, we'll check the shock body against that, see how it feels. Should be a relatively, yeah, that's perfect. Can use a little bit of bearing retaining compound in that. I don't like making them too tight. That's perfect. Right. The next step that we've got to do, we've got to machine a little bit of a recess inside here because that needs to have space for the seal head. So I need to take a couple of measurements from the damaged one and see roughly how deep we need to go. So the old seal head was about 10.9 millimeters thick in total, and the top section of the cap is approximately 2 millimeters thick. Prefer to make them a little bit thicker than that. So I'm going to say we go 11 minus 3, we go in for a depth of 8 millimeters. We'll bore out to 8 millimeters deep, and we'll give the side wall possibly around about 3 mil thickness as well. So we've got 40 mil minus 3 mils on either side for the wall thickness. Gives us 34 mil ID that we need to aim for, and we need to go for 8 millimeters deep. So we'll just zero everything again. And then we can take a cut and work it out. It should be 17.5. $21.5. $24.5. $28.5. And 32.5, and that's what we'll aim for, and go a couple of cuts till we get, and then we'll do the final cut to size. Perfect. Well, that looks good so far. Now what we'll do, we'll drop a countersink in, just clean up the burrs and deburr the outer edge. What we'll do, let's do the outer edge quickly first. Then I can drop the speed. Chamfer everything, like Brendan says. What we'll do, let's just drop the speed for the countersink. Perfect. Right, so what we'll do now, let's just double check that measurement. This is not a critical measurement, so tolerances don't have to be too tight, but give or take, yeah, 34.08 is fine for now. What we'll do, we'll get ready to part it off. Need a little bit more stick out in our parting blade. So what we'll do, we'll just adjust the blade out a little bit. Make sure that we've got enough clearance. so that our tool doesn't touch the workpiece. That should be good. And then we can check, set our vernier to 11.5 just to give us a little bit to face off, make it look pretty. That's perfect. Lock the carriage. Gonna need a little bit of coolant for this operation. There we go. 1 times new dust cap made. So that's 0.5. And comma 1. And once again, we chamfer everything. Right guys, so that's the new dust cap made. Excuse the grubby fingerprints, but that will be perfect, and we'll get back to the bench and carry on with stage number 2. Right guys, we finished our dust cap for the TZR shock. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm waiting on the seal head to arrive. I've measured up and we should be able to repair the shock with a early 1980s IT 175 or YZ18 seal head. I've ordered that, I'm waiting for it to arrive. For now, dust cap is finished. Got a nice snug fit into the shock body. So we should be good to go. When the seal head arrives, I will strip the rest of the shock shaft and we'll be able to do part 3 in the series and get the shock back together, ready to get it fitted back to the bike. Guys, thanks for watching and see you next time. Cheers.